So I'm going to be doing my March wrap up, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, my energy for this video is not gonna be where it usually is. I am very sad, but I really want to record this video while I like have the energy to, because even though I'm sad, I still love like doing book related videos and things like that. And I've been like beating myself up like I have to do a wrap up, I have to do a wrap up, and it's only been 5 days, but whatever. So yeah, I don't have like my makeup done like I usually do. I'm just like pure, like authentic Mayana. So these are all out of order, so let's just get into it. So I read Black Sun, which I ended up giving 3.5 out of 5 stars. I read this because my friend Hannah read it and like she really loved it, and I thought it was like okay. Like I thought it was a pretty fine book. There was nothing necessarily wrong with it. It just felt, I'm not gonna lie, it felt a little bit boring. Like I had a lot of fun because I was like doing some spring cleaning while listening to this book. I was like washing the dishes and like it was so fun. I went to this book, I forgot everybody's names, I'm so sorry, but I went to this book thinking I was gonna like the pirate guy who's introduced in the beginning. But I actually ended up coming out liking the girl who was like the mermaid, because I thought she was like so badass. And like nobody ever, like when people talk about this book, like they always thirst over the guy. But like yeah, so I changed my shirt and I forgot what I was talking about. I'm just gonna move on to the next book, sorry. So the next book is Ender's Game. I ended up giving this 2 out of 5 stars, y'all. Like I was so excited for this because I've owned this for a minute. Like since I first got into sci-fi, I was like I had picked up this and I've been really excited for it, and I don't know what, but I just decided to just get it on Libby. So yeah, I picked it up on Libby and I did not like this book. I thought it was very like, it was like very boring. But also what annoyed me the most about the book, well, there's like 2 main things that annoy me. One is okay, so the main thing is like these kids are like put into the military at like a young, the book started off okay, and then what also irritates me is that the book started off so good because it's about these kids, and I can't necessarily explain what the book is about. Like I can't explain it, like I can't put it into words, but like basically kids are being put into like the military at like a young age, and so the main character Ender is like put into the military, and he's like a threat to everyone because he's like super smart or whatever. And so yeah, so when he's getting put into the military, like he's like asking like where the girls at, like where the girls, and they're like, oh well, we haven't, like evolution has worked against women, so that's why there's not that many girls here. And I could just tell that was like the author's like personal views, and it's just so crazy because like evolution was against the women, but children, because like the main character, he's like 4 or 6. He's something, he's like, he's under the age of 10, okay? Let me preface that. He's under the age of 10. So children under the age of 10 can be put into the military, but with women, that's just like, oh. And then back at home, his 2 siblings are plotting to take over the world. You wanna know how? Are like 6 and 10, and they decide that they're gonna take over the world by starting a column, like a online like discussion column. Then I read Saga's volume 1 through 4, but I only have 2. So Saga is literally about these 2 characters who their species are on 2 different sides of the war, and they end up having a baby, and so now they're on the run because everyone's like, oh, they're traitors. And so you follow like the story of it's also like sci-fi, so it's set in space, and I just think that it's, the artwork is really beautiful. I think that it's a lot of fun. I had to stop at volume 4 because I did not like the ending of that. And I think it was a bad ending, but I just didn't like where the plot was going. I have a feeling that with volume 4, like that was just like a little cop-out like ending or whatever, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, so but the graphic novel itself is very fun. I had a lot of fun reading it. I'm probably gonna read the rest or more of it this month because I had to take a break after 4. I was like, I'm out. But yeah, I really love these. I really love sci-fi. I really love the way that like space is. Like this is what I love about sci-fi, like just weird planets and people going from like planet to planet and just seeing like what the world, this universe has to offer. That's what I love about sci-fi, and this really captures that. So then I read another graphic novel called Fake Blood, and this is about this young boy who's in middle school, and his crush, he finds out that his crush likes vampires, so he decides he's gonna pretend to be one. And then there's like a lot of plot twists. Like there's a lot of plot twists in this little middle grade book. I was so gagged, but this was so cute because it's much more than that. It's about like being different from others, like not like, you know, everyone, but sometimes being different from your friends, and you know, being in middle school and your body changing, and sometimes your body isn't changing as fast as your friends. And like, I know for me, I really felt that. Like I really felt like all of my friends, like, you know, I'm very short, so all of my friends were like getting taller in middle school, and I remember just experiencing the same thing that this character felt, and also just having a crush on someone and dealing with that. And the art is very pretty, and look at that. Look at, this is the crush and this is him. And one of my favorite things in this book is that they both like to read, and he doesn't get picked on, but his friends kind of pick on him a little bit for reading. Like he likes to read at lunch, and she likes to read as well. And like there's one day they were taking the bus together and they listened to this audiobook together, and I was like, they're literally living my dream. Literally living my dream. Then I reread Dune Messiah because Dune came out and I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I really want to reread it, but Dune is a 600-page book. I did not want to reread 600 pages. Like, I'm so sorry. But I was like, you know what Dune Messiah is? Like 200 pages, 200 and some pages. So I decided to reread Dune Messiah. Gave it 4 stars, had the time of my life. I ended up having like a viral TikTok because I was holding this book in the TikTok, and so many people were like, why are you holding the book if you're not talking about it? And I just like to walk around my house holding books. I didn't know we had to have a reason to do these things. I also read Dead Silence, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I read this because I thought this was going to be like Doctor Who, which it kind of is reminiscent to Doctor Who. Dr. 12, oh, I miss him. I love all the doctors, but yeah, this is reminiscent of Dr. 12. There's this plot line where they're stuck on a ghost ship, which I think maybe I'll read. I do have an arc for ghost ship, so maybe I'll read that and see if that one also reminds me of that episode of Doctor Who. But yeah, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars because I don't know, it just wasn't for me. Like, I'm sorry. I really wanted to like it, but I should have known because I started this book like 2 years ago. But I started this when I was in my party girl era, and I never got into it, so I should have known like I wasn't really gonna be feeling it. But whatever. I don't know how to say it without spoilers, but yeah, it's about this girl who wakes up on the ship and she has amnesia, and there's kind of like weird shit going on. And yeah, I kind of don't like the amnesia trope. I feel like it's so cheap, and like, oh yeah, like, oh, how convenient, she doesn't remember anything. And then yeah, I have more feelings but spoilers. So then I read The Sword of Kaigan, and I buddy read this with my 2 friends, Hannah and Trey, on TikTok, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. This one really read like an anime. It was so much fun. I really love the character Masaki. I really love reading a female character written by a woman because I just feel like she was written so exceptionally. Like, she was written so amazing. And I really love like the plot line of like being a mom and being a woman, and like once you become a mom, like everything else kind of doesn't, like all of your other achievements kind of don't matter. Yeah, like being a mom and like all of your achievements just not mattering once you're a mom. And yeah, there's a bunch of other things that this book touched on, but this was really fun to read like throughout the month. The last physical book that I read was The CDBB Came. I have spent years really nervous reading this book. This is about New York, and New York kind of having different boroughs that are personified, and they need to be born, which is like become one, so that they can fight off like this like thing. And New York isn't the only one. Like, there's like other places like China and Africa, like they all are like personified, that they are put inside people. And it's really cool because like the fighting scenes are really cool, like using like the streets to fight, like literally like the cement to fight, and like becoming like Transformer-esque like Power Ranger shit, or just like being able to see things that other people can't see. I thought it was really fun, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The City We Made, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I definitely just think it was unnecessary. Like, I think the way this book ended, it definitely could have just been a duology, And I just thought that the second book was kind of unnecessary. Like, y'all know me. If you've been following me for a while, you know that like I kind of don't like unnecessary like series. I'm bad at reading series, so if I feel like it's unnecessary, I'm gonna be like, okay. So I also read Thorn Hedge, which is about it's about a princess in a tower, but you actually don't get the perspective of the princess in the tower. You get the perspective of like the fairy outside of the tower. I end up giving this 2 out of 5 stars. It's very boring. I don't know why I keep reading T. Kingfisher. I don't like their books. I want to so badly, but I'm not a cozy girl. I'm not somebody who can sit here and read something that doesn't have a plot. They are very short and quick, which I do appreciate that, because at least T. Kingfisher has a common decency to make the cozy shit short. A lot of other authors will write a 300-page book with no plot, anyways, yeah, so it just wasn't for me. Then I read Psycho the Werewolf by Stephen King, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This is very fun, very reminiscent of like the first season of like Teen Wolf, just like that spooky vibe, like, you know, like when Teen Wolf tried to be like scary versus like the episode when Styles and Scott are like on FaceTime, and Styles like, what's behind you? And then like behind him is fucking Derek, and they're like, oh my god, like when Teen Wolf used to try to be scary, like I feel like the other later seasons they really didn't try. So this, yeah, Psycho the Werewolf is about the different seasons and this werewolf like hunting them, and about this one kid who takes it upon himself, this one kid who is disabled, by the way, who takes it upon himself to stop to find this werewolf and stop him. And I just thought it was so fun. It's a graphic novel, technically, yes, but no. Girl, there are more words than there are pictures in this damn book. Like, if you're like, I want to pick up a cute little graphic novel, don't pick up Psycho. It's literally a book with pictures. It's an illustrated book. I don't know why it's called a graphic novel. It's an illustrated book. I had a lot of fun either way. In the graphic novels, I read Vox MCCA. I read volume 1. Didn't like it. I watched the TV show. I watched 1 episode. I was like, I love these characters. I need to know more about their backstory, because that's what the first volume is. And I loved the first episode, but the graphic novel was not fun to me. And I wanted to read some other, because Vox MCCA is a D&D game, a D&D campaign. So it's about these characters who actually, yeah, so it's a fantasy like D&D campaign, and I really love it because the characters, because it's a D&D campaign, everyone has like their own person, their own backstory and everything, so it feels like real people. Like, you don't have to feel like a character not feeling real, or like the character's feeling flat. I low-key think that if somebody's gonna write a fantasy book, they might want to like try like a D&D campaign-esque thing for their characters, and like really give them like backstory and everything, because none of these characters ever feel like flat, or like they didn't feel like characters, like they didn't feel like real people. That's just based off the show. The book itself, the graphic novel itself was not. Yeah, so then I read I Hope This Doesn't Find You. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. For a while, this had ended up being one of my only like 5-star books, but this one is a YA academic rivals to lover books about this girl who writes emails, like hate emails, to people in her school in general, and one day her email gets hacked and sent out to everyone, and so she has to work with the guy that is her academic rival. I forgot why, but they have to work together. And the angst in this book, oh my gosh, this author, because I also read her other book, it wasn't last year but like 2 years ago, and it also was 5 stars. I think it was like I'll Give You the Sun. I don't think that was it, but yeah, I read her other book 2 years ago and I loved it. It was also academic rivals to lovers, and I'm gonna just tell you, this author eats when it comes to academic rivals to lovers. I cannot wait for her next books to come out. Like, I have not had like a YA author that I could like go to for a very long time. So she really did her thing. I also read Dune, the graphic novel, because I really wanted to read Dune. I really wanted to reread Dune without having to do all the work of rereading Dune. And I should have just went and reread it because the graphic novel was so boring. Like, I also read Lovecraft Country. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars, and I thought the beginning of the book was like very interesting, but I found out the author was white, and I feel like that kind of ruined my experience of the book. Not that I don't think that, you know, someone can't write about a race that's not theirs, but I just feel like this wasn't his story to tell. Like this story in particular just wasn't the author's to tell, and it really felt like that. And that was just my biggest issue with the book. I might tune into the TV show because I really love like this sci-fi horror aspect. Well, I don't want to say I really loved it. There are some, it also was the fact like it followed like a bunch of different characters. There are some character stories that I liked more than I liked others. But I do kind of want to watch the TV show. But I read this because the second book cover was really pretty, and I was like, I need to own these. And then I read this book and I was like, damn. I also read the Big Door Prize. This is a TV show. This was a TV show I found on Apple TV, and I found out it had a book to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Apple TV kind of adapts a lot of books, to be honest. I love Apple TV. It is the only streaming service that I pay for. It's the only one that I have. Like, I love Apple TV down. Like, they really got me. So yeah, the Big Door Prize is about this town that has a door. It's not a door. I don't know why it's called the Big Door Prize, because it's like more like a little, I don't even know how to explain it, but whatever. So basically it's this thing that pops up in their town, and it gives everyone like this card. And so on the card it just tells you, it just says like one word. Like for someone it could be like fashion designer, or like model, or motorcyclist, whatever you call a motorcycler, I don't know. And so a lot of people in the town start to perceive or believe that it's like their prophecy. So people start quitting their jobs, people start getting divorces, like people really just up and change their lives. And so it's about this small town and how this like the Big Door Prize changed the small town. I love the TV show. I feel like the TV show made excellent changes. And one thing, I will read something after I watch it first, so I can just get like an idea of what it's supposed to be like. I usually don't do that with this. It's not contemporary. It's sci-fi, but it is contemporary. And I usually will read this first, but I didn't know that it was a book. So I read it. I thought that the things that happened in the TV show were changed for a reason, and it made it better. So then reading this first, like I'm kind of like, oh, I kind of like the changes more. Like the changes actually made me really enjoy the TV show. Yeah, the TV show is also like very diverse, and that's why I love Apple TV. Like they are so diverse. Like they really kind of don't have no fucks to give. Like you never see any of these shows sponsored. You never see any of these shows like talked about. It's very diverse because Apple TV has nothing to lose. Even though I don't think you lose. I think you actually gain more when you make a show diverse. But you know, Hollywood, whatever. So anyways, because I don't have enough battery life to be sitting here yip yapping. So then basically I get into my Game of Thrones era, because I end up watching House of the Dragon and then becoming obsessed and then reading Game of Thrones. And so I read The Rise of the Dragon and Fire and Blood, which is what House of the Dragon is based off of. They're essentially the same book. Rise of the Dragon is just a condensed version, so I gave them both 5 out of 5 stars. I really love the characters in this world. I love Rhaenyra. I love the Targaryens, but God, is so much incest in the Targaryens. Like, then I read A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was just bland to me. Like, it's just stories about, you know, knights in this universe, or you know, and it's like, whatever. Then I read Game of Thrones. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It read almost exactly like the first season. I really love these characters. I am obsessed with these characters. Like, the women are written so well. These have been some of my favorite characters in the universe. And so one thing I was excited for, my favorite thing about reading is being in a character's mind, knowing what a character was reading. And every time I was watching the show, I was like, oh my god, I wish I could know what this character was thinking in this moment. That's what this book is. I can exactly get what a character was thinking in the moment, because at least the first book is almost exactly written. So there are some scenes that I was like specifically like, oh my gosh, I wish I could see what this character is thinking. And then like that exact scene, I could see what that character was thinking, and it just brought me so much joy and so much happiness. But yeah, I'm running out of time, and I don't want my camera to overheat. So yeah, that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.